Okay, here we go. Let's see if everything is working as it should be. My sound is working correctly. Oscar?
Mine also?
Yes.
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
yeah. You're a little bit loud, so I will just.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Always the same
Story
problem.
of my
Yeah.
life. Story of my life.
Yeah. Your mic is sort of over. I don't know. Something's wrong with it, but it's audible. And Chris?
And hello from
Hello
America.
from America again. There we are. Okay. Well, it's good to see you all. Oh, my camera now decides to just go out of focus all of a sudden.
Of course.
Of course.
Nice.
I think it's back.
Hello.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we're doing some final technical tweaks. Welcome to the both of you.
Realised I'm wearing the same T-shirt as last time.
Yeah, haven't you changed?
I have been away, and this has been through the washing machine.
Isn't-
I'm not wearing the same clothes from 3 weeks ago.
Isn't this as live as we say it is? This is just recorded for the whole year. No, yeah.
We're gonna just do a reschedule. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we recorded this 3 weeks ago.
Yes. Anyway, welcome. We skipped last week because of some issues on my side, but I thought we'd just go ahead and do the show this week. So we will talk about Formula One, which is already more than a week ago, but we will still talk about it today. There's probably some Lego news going on. I've got a couple of things. We were just before we went live, we were discussing the NS problem, which we might want to discuss if we feel like it.
Yep.
And there was something else, but I've forgotten. Well, we'll think about it when we go. Oh, Edwin is saying everything is fine, so that's good news.
Always good.
Hello, viewer.
So yeah, so we should be good to go then. So welcome to our viewers again. I haven't checked any views or members of the channel, so I should probably do that a bit later. But I would assume that the number of followers and subscriptions has grown exponentially after our last show. If not, we will be thoroughly disappointed. So we'll see about that. Anyway, let's go on. Any really important news from the States or the Rivian thing is obviously something we might want to discuss.
Yeah.
I mean, let's start with that. I mean, you sent me a couple of really cool pics of a Rivian dealer in your neighborhood, Chris.
Yeah. So I was talking on Reddit with someone a couple of days ago, and I said, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing one in the flesh, but that means that we'd have to have a service center or a dealer in Salt Lake City. And he said, we already have one.
Yeah.
So I was like, what? So I Googled it, and on Saturday we drove. It's about 8 minutes from my house.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And they had 2 trucks out there. And I was talking to the guy. He said, yeah, you should have gone down on Friday. They had 20 on Friday.
Oh, so cool.
So there's 18 have been delivered in Salt Lake City in the last week.
Wow.
Cool.
Wow. That's really cool. But
I'm trying to talk one of the owners into letting me go and have a look at his truck, but it's
Yeah. It's now the pickup trucks that are out there, and the one you're getting is not there yet, obviously.
They're in production, and they're probably about 2 weeks away from delivering the first one of the SUVs to a customer.
Okay, so maybe I mean, will those dealers get demo cars or anything?
I don't know.
Okay,
but I have a lot more confidence now, because one of the things that I thought might happen here in Salt Lake was I thought we might end up in a situation where we had to use mobile service centers, which are never great, where the guy comes out in a truck.
Yeah.
And I thought, maybe we're going to get stuck with, if something needs doing, it has to be sent back to Denver, or it has to be sent to Arizona or something.
Yeah.
But now we actually have a proper service center here. It's like, it's 8 minutes from my house. And that's removed one of the anxiety things about if something needs to be fixed, well, okay, it's 8 minutes away now,
It's ideal.
which is great.
It's really great.
So,
It's really great.
yeah.
I was almost as excited as you were, not quite as much, but when I saw that, I mean, it's great, when something. This is one of these things that look great, and there's all kinds of sort of risks with it, and there was some bumps along the road, and you all have to see if something like this really materializes, but. When you really got a surface center there with actual vehicles, that makes it a little bit more.
And let me tell you, they are far prettier in the flesh than they look in the pictures and the photos.
Oh, cool! Yeah,
they are amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
To see up close. It's just to finally see one.
Yeah.
And we were there on a Saturday, so there weren't many people around.
Mm-hmm.
But there was a security guard inside who kept looking at me like this through the window.
Yeah.
And when we drove off, he sort of went outside and walked around the truck that I've been looking around. I think he was making sure that I didn't scratch it or anything.
Yeah. That you were
So,
okay, well.
And I thought of going back and saying, can we have a look inside the truck? But I thought, no, he's a security guard. He doesn't know anything about that.
No. It's just. Well, anyway, good news. I'm happy for you, and I am really excited to hear any news that you will get out of that. And obviously, when you can take a look at your car or one like yours, that would obviously be great.
that's going to be the next thing. So what's been interesting is there's still not a lot of information with what exactly the R1S is going to look like. I mean, not what it's going to. We know what it's going to look like, but there's not a lot of technical information out yet.
Mm-hmm.
But there appeared online this week a technical manual for tow truck operators for if you needed to tow the vehicle or if you needed to lift the vehicle up. And there's some really interesting information in there that you can start to figure out some of the technical details about the R1S. So, for example, it has a full-size spare tire.
Yes.
But it fits in it's like the VW Audi ones where the tire sort of folds up on itself and contracts.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the space that it takes up in the car is not much bigger than the wheel rim.
Okay.
But when you inflate it, the tire sort of
comes
inflates out that, and then you end up with a full-size spare.
Wow. Okay.
And then there was some other information because it's a battery-powered vehicle and the underside of the car is basically all battery. Yeah. There's very specific places where you can put a jack to lift the car up, or if you put a lift to lift it up.
Yeah.
And they're protected by 4 plastic panels.
Okay.
So you have to you take a bolt out and pull the plastic panel off, and then there's metal chassis.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just you don't wanna push a hole in your battery, obviously.
No. and there's 4 of them on the vehicle. There's 2 at the front and 2 at the back.
Yeah.
And when you look in this towing manual, the front plastic panels are about this long. And when you look at the rear plastic panels on the R1T, they're about this long, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And on the R1S, they're about this long. So you can start to think, okay, that means the R1S is about this much shorter than the truck.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you can start to figure out some of these sort of details. Because I parked our car next to the truck, and I was looking at it and going, that is not going to fit in the garage. But the height's okay, but the length is too long. But then, of course, the truck is probably 50 to 60 centimeters longer than the SUV.
Yeah.
So then I thought, oh, no, it'll be okay. Because I did all the measurements before I ever ordered it. And
Yeah.
But then when I saw the truck, I was like, did I measure something wrong? Because this is...
looks good. Okay, but probably it's just a bit longer. Yeah. Okay.
Well, so the SUV is shorter than the truck, probably by 50 or 60 centimeters.
Cool.
Okay. Hey, and the images you sent, they were light blue. So that was when
that's the color that I have at the moment. Yeah.
So
that's in my order.
And is it also in life the proper color?
90% yes, except someone started posting pictures on Reddit this week of the red ones. So I need to see a red one for real.
Yeah.
For the time being, I've kept my order with the blue. The red one is $1,000 cheaper. The red paint is $1,000 less, and it's
red will always go bad after a couple of years, so it's not as much.
It's sort of a reddish orange. There's more like in the daylight it's more red, but in the evening,
Okay.
it seems to go more orange. It's a really nice color.
Cool.
So.
Okay.
Very nice.
But yeah, I was stupid excited just to see this thing for real. Having seen all the reviews and all the photos and all the videos on YouTube and everything, and I was like, finally, I get to see one of these things.
Really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, I made sure I didn't touch it because it wasn't mine. I just sort of got very close and was looking at all the details and.
You wanted to hug it, yeah.
Yeah, well, hug it. Yeah.
Hug it.
Hug a big.
I wanted to stroke it.
Yeah.
I thought the security guard might come out if I did that, though. He's like, what are you doing to this truck?
You're perfect.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Do you have a rag? Because I think I've just dribbled on your truck.
Well, anyway.
But it's also on the other end, it's very nice to see that it was a good experience. So
yeah,
could also have been a bad experience.
Yeah, that's it. You sometimes it could have been that I went to look at it and went, what have I done?
Yeah.
But it was the complete opposite. Yeah. I went to look at it and now I'm just like, why do I have to wait another year before I can get mine?
Yeah.
Well, in a way, it's good that it exceeds the expectation, or at least meets the expectation.
Yeah.
That's a good feeling. Yeah. You never know for sure. That's always the gamble. But if it keeps going that way, it just prolongs the excitement, I think. So it might be a good experience.
I'm pretty excited now. Yeah. I'm like, this was much more than I was expecting. You sort of think you know what to expect with something like this, but to see it for real, I was like, oh wow, this is
cool.
This is real. They've done a really nice job on this truck.
Well, good to hear. We will keep everybody posted here on this channel. Let's go to the next thing. Maybe in between, before we go to F1, we were discussing the NS issues on Sunday. For people that haven't seen or heard about that, there was a problem with the NS. That train started to not be on time, and then all trains stopped and the whole system went down, and virtually the whole day no trains throughout the Netherlands were driving, and they only booted the system back up Monday morning, and then everything went back to normal as much as we can expect it to be normal. And we were just talking about, obviously, with all our conspiracy theories. I was actually thinking, what's behind this? This is such a catastrophic thing that the only thing that I could think of, that there was a huge problem with their main computer systems, and maybe they were attacked by a virus or by something, and they had to shut down their complete infrastructure on traffic control, just to make sure that any problems didn't go further, and lock everything down, fix the problem, and then boot everything up again. Obviously, when you do that, even for half an hour, booting the system back up and getting all trains, it's just, you can't do it. So they probably decided to just
becomes a real problem,
stop everything, come back to the stations, and we'll try again on Monday. I have a feeling that something like that happened, and I also have a feeling that they didn't want to tell anybody, because of all kinds of security and political and whatever reasons they might have had to keep the audience in the dark about that. It might be something completely different, but for some reason this seemed like a probable cause to me. But then again, I haven't heard anything really about it, any news about what went on. Did any of you? Well, Chris maybe not, but Oscar, did you hear anything? Anybody asking about it? Nothing. No. So it seems like it starts to look like a dovepot affair. Everybody is instructed to. This is an issue of national security. You are forbidden to say anything about it. So
it wouldn't be unusual if that sort of thing had happened. Yeah. I mean, you get these cyber attacks every now and then that take down a bunch of systems. So it's not. I wouldn't be surprised if it's something like that.
Yeah.
And they just went, exactly what you said. They just looked at it and went, turn it off. Yeah. Let's deal with the problem. And then, and the thing I read about it was, once they got everything fixed and running again, of course, the problem they had was the trains are all supposed to be in a certain place.
Yeah.
And because nothing had been running, none of the trains were where they were supposed to be.
No.
So it wasn't just a case of, well, let's resume service. It was a case of, okay, the scheduling system works, but now this train that was supposed to be in Amsterdam is in Rotterdam. This train that was supposed to be in Rotterdam is in Haarlem. And from that point, you're like, now they were running a sort of a dienstregeling where they were trying to get everything back to where it was supposed to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's very similar to what happens with airplanes. Once you start to get a backlog in the system, it's like, oh god.
Yeah, you'll not survive from that. You'll not recover from that easily. No, I think they probably did almost a manual drive back to the to the station where you should normally end, or something like that. And they just put all the trains back in like the reset position for the Monday, and then they started everything up again, and everything was fine. I think that's probably what happened. Yeah, I agree. Well, it was weird, and especially because there was actually no news. Then it was on a Sunday, and I think on Sunday there's just no news because no reporters are working or something. So that's another thing. We had when I was working at Vodafone, we had a big outage. Like the whole system went down, and that was on a Sunday too. And this was just the good thing was that we could do all kinds of repairs and stuff, and prepare for press conferences and news on Monday. So it would give you just another day, a little bit of room to maneuver before the whole country would just fall down again. And then on Monday, when everything was up and running again, it wasn't as bad anymore, so you lost the first negative wave. So maybe they did it on purpose. Maybe they just they just closed. They needed to do an update, and they think, let's do it. It's the new guy. Let's do it on Sunday. Let's see what happens. Anyway,
or they had a new work student, or
something like that. Anyway, that was
they let the intern touch something, and they were like, "You are not touching anything again." Look what happened.
Look what happened. Look what you did. That's cool. Anyway, so that was NS. And maybe it's time to talk about Formula 1, because after the first race, which left me in, disarray, the second race was so much better. I mean, I really loved the whole thing, and just it all gets down to the point where I thought it was a fair race. There were fights, there were overtakes.
It was the overtaking,
and it all went like it should. No dramas. Yeah. I think that somewhere along the line with all these overtakes, something will happen, obviously. But it happened. But then I have a feeling. Okay, so it was a race. It was overtaking. Everybody was doing racing and not doing anything really stupid or being an asshole about it. And it was just like fun, and it seemed like the drivers also thought it was fun. Obviously, towards the end of the season, that'll change a little bit, but still, this was good. I mean, it's the start of the season, and I love the fact that Max and Leclerc were racing in similar cars. I mean, the cars were not far apart. I think a little bit more speed in the Red Bull, a little bit more corner behavior in the Ferrari, and that went back and forth. And you will see this: I will overtake you, you'll overtake me, and the strategy in that as a thing, I will not overtake here. Yeah. They almost stopped before that corner because they didn't want to go in first.
Yeah, because they realized
so that might become a problem somewhere down the line, that cars really stop and just won't go on. But anyway, that's all fun. And the last thing there's a lot to say about that, but the last main feeling I have is that I really do not mind if Leclerc becomes world champion, because if it stays like this, the best driver, maybe a driver with a little bit more luck, whatever, will be world champion, and maybe someone else won't, but it won't be a drama. And I have a feeling that taking Lewis out of the picture has made it better, has solved the whole issue. And maybe it's just a coincidence, but I feel like just Lewis's way of driving and his way of complaining, and the fact that he was there and his influence in the whole Formula 1 thing, all of it, Mercedes and Lewis had much too much a grip on the whole thing, and things went different because of that. And that sort of killed the whole Formula One. And now it's back to what it should be. That's my feeling.
And the other thing that was really obvious was at the end of the race, you know, the difference between what was going on at the end of that race versus what would have been going on at the end of a race where Lewis was up front. You know, I mean, Max was out there talking to Leclerc, and you know, everyone was having a good time, and there didn't seem to be any animosity.
Yeah. True.
You know, and I think because it wasn't all about Lewis.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
So
and that might change a little bit, you know, once we go further into the season, because the stakes will go up then, because you know there will be points. But still, I have a feeling that it will stay much more positive. And more light. I don't know. Overall, it just feels much better.
I mean, to be honest, I'm actually now really curious about how Mercedes are going to address their problems, because they've got a problem.
Yeah, for sure.
Now I'm curious. It's like, okay, so I really don't like Mercedes, and I really don't like Lewis Hamilton, but the engineer in me is like, how are they going to fix this?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that level of interest and curiosity there now for me with Mercedes what is your answer to this?
Yeah. Well, that's a good question.
And the nice thing is, of course, with the budget
caps.
What is it? Caps. Yeah. So it's also not unlimited money to spend to get a better car, or just rebuild a new car, or start over.
Yeah.
So they really need to hang tight to this one and make it work and with the limited budget.
I think Mercedes, I don't know all their exact problems, but they're not. I think the engine's not fast enough, but also they've got the porpoising.
They know what their exact problems are.
Yeah, they're not fast, but I can't go into the details obviously because I don't know. But if they can fix something with the porpoising thing and maybe some speed in the engine, they might get better. But if they will get better than Ferrari or even Red Bull, we'll see.
Yeah.
I hear that that Red Bull has a problem because they're actually a bit too heavy. They have to find some ways to make the car lighter. And that was already, I think I mentioned before, after testing, that they said, we're actually a little bit too heavy for what we want. But I don't know how they can fix that. But Ferrari seems to have no problems at all. They'll just have a good car and they will just tweak it to every circuit.
And what's amazing is Ferrari. It's like 2 years ago. If you'd have suggested 2 years ago that Ferrari would be in this position already, most of the people would have said that that's a joke.
Yeah. Well,
but for them to suddenly be so much better, it's like, oh wow.
Yeah.
It game on now because there's a competition again, and it's not just between the same two teams.
Exactly. And it's I don't know, it could be a lot of things. One thing is they have spent a lot of last year's time and budget, and it went because they weren't winning anyway, so they were probably not paying too much attention to that season and placed all their bets and development and things on their new car, which could be part of the solution. Red Bull obviously put everything they had into last season because they wanted to become world champion. Probably the same for Mercedes. And that's why these teams are probably a little bit further behind, maybe, on development.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Could be. And then again, it's Formula One. We have seen this, we have seen teams that were on top suddenly drop down and not play a role. I mean, Williams has had years of being on the forefront, and the last, 5 or 10 years or whatever, they're nowhere. McLaren, in history has won so much races, and now they're struggling again. Last year seemed good, now they're struggling again. But that's the same thing. McLaren was trying to become third and beat Ferrari last year. And that's why probably they spend a lot of money and effort in that car from last year and not as much in this year's car. So, and it's a good thing. I mean, I like the way that it's now shuffling the whole deck, and during the season maybe things will shift back a little bit. But it's just fun to see. But I have to say Ferrari look really solid. Also the drivers, I liked. I did to be honest, I did not like Leclerc so much in the early stages, but now it seems like a version 2 of him or something. He seems more likable. He seems more mature. I don't know. There's something about Leclerc that I now like more than I did a couple of years ago. I don't know what it is. And then I've always liked Sainz. I think he's a great guy, and I like that team being in the Ferrari. You know, it's just it fits. And obviously Checo now seems to be getting a little bit more, hang of the car. Maybe this car suits him more. It's more like karting. You know, the cars seem to be more forgiving. We've seen drifting, which we have obviously almost never seen over the last couple of years. The cars seem to be more. You can play with the cars without them crashing suddenly.
Yeah.
There is more of a leadway between grip and complete loss of grip. There's more.
And
room.
the nice thing is, when they're overtaking now, it used to be a case that if you were overtaken, that was kind of it. It was like, fine, we've been overtaken, just try and catch up. But now it's like, no, if you've been overtaken, it's not a done deal.
Stay on it, and
stay on it because
Yeah, so that's great. Obviously, Latifi playing a big role was fun. With him causing the problem, and actually giving Max an advantage, I think. So that was
that the second time Max could win the race.
And then a little bit of how do you call it? I mean, it's not nice for me to say that, but I love the fact that Hamilton missed his tire change pit stop just a couple of seconds. I don't know, but I just
but
that was bad luck.
That's stereotypical of Mercedes. They always seem to screw up.
Yeah, but
when they need to make an emergency call, if it's not something that's exactly in the plan,
it takes them too long.
They hesitate.
Yeah,
they hesitate, and then it's gone, and then it's like, what, you screwed it.
Do you think this was because of hesitation? Yeah, probably wasn't it? They should have made that call right away instead of first discussing it in a German way.
Yes. Straight away. It should have been get tires, come into the pit.
That's probably their management structure. I think the Germans always want to be sure and certain, so they will double check, discuss it, and then make a decision. And in this sport, that's not always. I mean, sometimes it is. In development of the car, it maybe is, but in a race. You need just one guy who makes the call right there and then. Yeah. And he either nails it.
In that case, it should always be the race strategist.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. And there should be no. So. I mean, he should there and then make that call. Anyway, that was a little bit of, how do you call it, gloating or whatever. I don't know. It's not nice of me, but I did like the fact that the bad luck was going.
Well, if that's the worst we are doing to Lewis,
he deserves worse than that. Yeah, obviously.
So it's not too bad, I would say.
No. Yeah. So and then and then we'll have to see. Like a couple of races. As you said, I loved the atmosphere after the race. Also, it's a little bit different. I'm watching F1. TV now, which is it's perfect. The quality of the picture is just great.
4K.
It's really good. So I like that. I don't have a 4K television, but still it looks way better than the other picture on my telly. So that's a plus for me. The sound is really great, and you can even switch to just the sound, enhance the motor sound, and leave out the comments or something. There's a button for that, which is great.
Wow.
Then.
And have you been able to watch replays? Because this is the thing that F1 TV was missing, was they did everything live.
Yeah. And then
but you couldn't watch replays.
I haven't looked, to be honest. I have to check that. No. I haven't even looked if that is a possibility, but I will certainly try and do that.
I'd be interested to know if that's a thing.
One thing that is a little bit different and not as good is the pre shows, like before the starts. It's just bad. It's two losers that try to, I don't know. That's just not good. Not entertaining at all. They do a grid walk.
Who are their commentary team?
Yeah, I can't.
Is it people?
Is
it people we would know?
No, I don't think so. It's a guy. It's like a guy. I don't know. I don't know their names. And then the after show is a little bit better because the after show they get almost all of the drivers there. They just come by, which is great. And they are in that area of the pits, so you see drivers walking by and saying hello, and I love that atmosphere. But the quality of the evaluation is not really good, I think. So I'm not sure about how that'll play. I mean, I could probably, for the after show, I could probably switch to I think Ziggo probably is doing something, and I might do that next time. I'm not sure yet, but still, the race is being broadcasted absolutely perfect, and to me, it's English commentary, but I don't mind that at all.
Yeah,
and it's more unbiased, I think, which also is good. Yeah. So anyway, I like that, and
it's a win for you at the moment.
It's a win for me. Yeah, everything looks great, and obviously, something might happen. Oh, there was one thing. What was it? Race control. I think it's better now. They seem to.
There is consistency.
There's consistency right now. I mean, we don't know. It's always difficult to be really consistent, but there seems to be consistency. Also, the fact that you don't hear all these talking to the radio. That was just a bad idea. So I'm glad that they took that out. And also, I think if they make a decision, you will just see that. So you will. I think.
Yeah, there were a couple of those for corner limits, or for people that exceeded corner limits, and it wasn't. There was no argument. There was no fuss. It was just he exceeded corner limits, and that's what was decided.
Yeah. So it's much more clean. It's much more. This is it, and go on. So that for me that's better. So I think that's an improvement. And then the thing, it might become a real thing where they don't want to go into the corner because of DRS issues, and they were just avoiding to overtake, which might
could become a problem.
That could become a problem because in the end you could both stop before the corner. One needs to, give way or give up at a certain point of time and think, oh well, not gonna happen. I'll go first. If they both keep their foot down on the brake, really, they could virtually stop before the engine and just wait until one starts driving again. I don't know. It's probably not going to happen that way, but there might be something there that they're going to change. Maybe
Sorry.
No. I was thinking maybe a minimal speed or something that they have to maintain. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that was something which I found was very strange last year. On the same spot as where they did now the braking session, Leclerc and Verstappen. Verstappen did a brake for Hamilton to let him pass.
Yeah.
And then he got a penalty because he slowed down too much.
Yeah.
So I actually think now both Leclerc and Verstappen did this again. So they slowed down too much for the normal speed on that point on the circuit. Yeah. So somehow they should have been penalized for it.
Yeah. Or now
you're driving too slow.
Yeah, but
or they now say that it was rubbish last year.
Well, I think that's you hit the nail on the head. What I was trying to say earlier. First of all, yes, that's why I say there might become rules with minimum speeds or whatever. But on the other hand, last year, the fact that Lewis was in that position and Max was in that position and Mercedes was doing their thing caused a lot more stress when something like that happened than it does this year. Last year, it was immediate stress because they knew Mercedes was going to raise hell about this and were going to throw the rule book at them. And we're going to all these things. So they were stressed to make that decision and they had to make a call and they made a lot of wrong calls. Now, probably they said, well, no harm's done. Yeah. Let them race.
Yeah.
And that's the difference at this point in time, I think, why everything seems to be a little bit more fluid in that respect.
Yeah.
I've got a feeling that it's a little bit like that.
Yeah. Well, let's
I
hope.
I think it's surprising how much different the cars are now.
Yeah.
In terms of being able to overtake, because for so long we've seen them, the really skillful drivers were able to overtake, but a lot of the others were like they just get stuck in the slipstream, and then they couldn't do anything. But now it's like no, they just barrel up the outside of the car and keep going. It's like, oh my god,
I think it has shifted. What happens now is, I think the difference in speed between DRS and non-DRS is less than it was last year. Because you see them catching up, but not as fast as they did last year when they had DRS on the other guy. That's one thing that has changed. But on the other hand, if you're really close behind someone, you can still drive your car. And last year, it seemed like you then lost everything. So the only way to overtake is to really have overspeed on the DRS, have a really high overspeed, and then go past, then go in front. Now they really go slowly towards it, then stay on their tail, and they can go through the corner together without losing grip. Because of the higher downforce, probably. So it's a completely different game now. It's a different way of racing, and they're all getting used to that type of racing. So we can probably see some nice things coming on in the next races. But it seems exactly it's a completely different car and a completely different race.
Yeah, it's been really interesting to see the suddenness of the change. I think it's like
Yeah, so I think it was a good call. They did a great job in putting down laying down the new rules, as far as we can see, because it makes it all very interesting. And in a way, you could say, normally if somebody became world champion, the chance that he became world champion again last year was always very big, because you have virtually the same car, same driver, so that change would probably stay. Not so much this year, because everything has changed, so it's new game. So the chances that Max won't become a new world champion is high. He still can become a world champion, obviously, but there's also a couple of other guys who could become world champion, and I don't mind that. It's racing, and
I actually would have no problem with someone like Leclerc becoming world champion.
Yeah.
Because that will be enough of a fire to Verstappen that he'll go, no, got to try harder.
Yeah, and he really is,
because he's been so used to all the bullshit with Mercedes for so long. Everything he's done has had to be weighed through the lens of, what are Mercedes going to say if I do this? What are Mercedes going to say if I do this? And now it's like, fuck it, I'm just going to overtake it.
But the whole, also the race control, and everybody was intimidated by Mercedes and Hamilton. That's their game. That has been their game. And they've lost that now. And that makes it all feel... For the time being, yeah, okay. And maybe now, because before Mercedes, Ferrari did that same thing. Yeah. So it seems like, I don't know.
And the one thing that I was a little disappointed in was Max had a little bit of Lewis about him in that last race. He started complaining about far too many things. I'm like, you need to stop that.
I agree.
Because otherwise, you're going to be compared to Lewis straight away.
I agree. I had the same feeling. You're absolutely right. Then again, was it that? No, that was the race before. No. That was the first race, wasn't it?
No, it was I think also the second race.
Oh, but okay. I didn't.
What I found was a problem is that you heard him say things, but they never showed on the television why he was complaining. So it was about that Leclerc was driving over the lines or whatever.
Yeah.
At the pit lane entry.
Or well, maybe, but they never showed it.
No.
What he meant.
No.
So and then it becomes whining, of course.
Yeah.
But if
you were left then wondering, well, why is he complaining?
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
But maybe that's part of this new methodology of, no, let race control deal with that.
Yeah.
Because he either crossed the line or he didn't cross the line. And, us as viewers, it's like, well, okay, it makes it more exciting if you suddenly think, oh yeah, he's cheating, but
Oh well.
You know, and I think the thing that was really interesting was right at the end of the race there, Max was in real danger of losing the race.
Yeah.
I think if it had gone on one more lap,
yeah.
that Leclerc would have had him back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, it was going to be...
And that sort of thing, that closeness of racing, we've been missing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. On the other hand, I think Max tires were better at the end.
Yeah.
But it was close call. Yeah.
Really, 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 really good change in what we've seen so far.
Yeah. So
and not just because of Lewis. I mean, just everything it just feels more natural.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
weird thing to say, but you know what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah. Yeah.
What I think is strange is that even when they created new rules and tried to simplify the cars, etc., that no car is looking the same again. And like last year, they were more or less all the same cars with small details, of course. And now you have really a lot of different cars. And
that's been surprising because it seemed like the regulations were going to make the cars all exactly the same.
Yeah.
And now it's exactly what you just said. They're so different from each other.
Yeah. And still then again close in seconds or in milliseconds.
Yeah, so
milliseconds.
So the whole design is all bullshit anyway. They all go within seconds.
Yeah,
the same. It will be. They will be more the same next season, or they will.
The case with Formula One. I mean, the FIA always try and slow the cars down, and the drivers and the teams always find a way of making them faster.
Yeah.
No, it's racing. You can't deliberately try and slow the race down. I mean, you can because that's what the FIA are trying to do, but. Every time the engineers look at that as a challenge, they're like, yes, you're trying to slow us down.
Yeah, let's...
How can we make sure that we're faster?
Yeah.
So
no, I agree. Anyway, I think we can all agree that this season has started. Well, the actual start wasn't great, but the race 2 was perfect. And let's hope.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. Let's just see how this goes. Australia next. That has been a while since they drove there. It's been 2 or 3 seasons. 2 seasons, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So, and they've changed the circuit a little bit. I heard they made some changes in the corners. So we'll see how that goes on Sunday. I think that's going to be a night race for us, Australia, isn't it? I think that's
very early. I think.
Oh, so for me that's
5 o'clock in the morning or something.
Oh, that's night for me. So no, it's I'm probably not gonna watch that live. But I always plan to do that, but I never. I mean, when my alarm clock goes off, there is nothing.
Have a look at my calendar because I don't know what the time is for us here.
Oh, it might be
5:30 in the morning.
Ooh.
No, the race is 7 o'clock in the morning, so we'll be watching that at lunchtime.
Okay.
We'll play that back on the app that we use and watch that at lunchtime.
But is it for you at 7 in the morning?
Yes.
That would mean that it's for us 2 in the
1
the
o'clock.
night
Yeah, very late in the evening. That might be a solution because I might want to stay up.
No, it's 7 and 14. It'll be 3 o'clock in the afternoon for you, in theory.
But that's a normal time, and it's Australia. There's almost 24. Oh, it's 24 hours. It might be a whole day. This is stupid that I don't know the top of my head, but it's close to 20 hours of time difference, isn't it? So it's almost a complete day.
No. Never mind. Ignore that. I was looking at the race in Italy.
Well, that doesn't help. I thought Austria.
The actual race
in the Netherlands, the race will start at 7 a.m.
Oh, okay.
For us here, the race starts at 11 p.m.
7 a.m. is a time where, with Giorgio and everything, we could be awake. So maybe we'll just watch it live then.
So for us, it's 11 p.m. on Saturday night.
Okay.
Yeah. So no.
Okay. Anyway,
that's the short answer.
Yeah, that's the short answer. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and Las Vegas.
Yeah. Las Vegas is added to the calendar.
Now, we have to talk about this
Yeah.
because that press release came out on April the 1st.
Yes.
Yeah. No. The evening before.
Close enough.
But
And me and it seems a lot of other people still don't believe they're actually going to be doing a race. And I'm just thinking, you could have timed this a little bit better, like 2 days before or a day after, but don't do it.
No.
Where in some parts of the world, that press release came out on April the 1st.
Yeah.
So I'm interested now if it really is real, because how are they even going to do that? Because to do a night race with all the lighting and everything, that means they're going to have to close the strip.
Have you been
5
to
days
Las
ahead of
Vegas before?
Sorry?
Have you been to Las Vegas before? they don't have to set up any lights, I think, on the strip.
Well, yeah.
It's day during nighttime.
No, I know it's daytime mostly there, but they're going to have to set up some lights.
Yeah, of course. But
it's the thing that I'm struggling with is the fact that they're going to have to close the strip, because part of the race is on the strip, and the casinos are not normally super happy when you close the main entrance to the casino.
True. On the other hand, it might drag a lot of persons into Las Vegas.
Yeah, and I think it's official.
Yeah.
The official F1 app on the 3rd of April. Will Buxton is talking about it still. So that would probably mean that it's official. It's finally official. It's finally done. After years of would it, could it, the answer is yes, it can. It will. Formula One is returning to Las Vegas. That's the 3rd of April. I mean, that would be, for a 1st of April joke, that would probably be.
Now that's interesting to us, because that's only 7 hours drive from where we live.
I know. And we were gonna visit you anyway, so maybe we should just time all that and all see it together.
That would be great.
That would be really great. Yes, going to Formula
was
One
the
in the
first-
States, in Las Vegas. That would be,
Can you imagine how much the hotel rooms are going to be? I mean, the hotel rooms are stupid expensive in Las Vegas anyway. But can you imagine on a race weekend?
Yeah.
Like, in fact, I doubt you can get hotel rooms now.
Yeah.
Now that they've announced the race, I bet all the rooms are gone.
Yeah. That's.
But if it's only a 7-hour drive, we can
just drive,
stay at your place.
Stay at your place and leave very early. Yeah. No, we'll. I don't. I know. That's obviously. I mean, veering off Formula One a little bit. What I see happening, at least here in Holland, is that everything's booked solid. You can't get a table in any restaurant. You can't get hotel rooms. If you want to go to the theater, you have to sort of, get your tickets 2 years in advance. Everything after Corona is booked solid and crazy expensive.
Yeah.
So
it's because people are doing what they call revenge travel.
Yeah.
No, nobody's traveled for 2 years. Like, God damn it, I'm going to travel.
Yeah. The same as if you adhere to the speed limit for more than 2 hours, then you think, my God, I'm going to now put the pedal to the metal because I've been being
just as you go past the Swiss speed camp.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. No, it's like that. Anyway, to just because we're already almost 10 minutes from closing time, I think I mentioned the fact that I lend out my Lego excavator to Ed, our top viewer, and he built both models, and that was really cool. And as a thank you, he gave me this Star Wars like mini Mandalorian Razor Crest, and I think I had shown that to you before, and I finally got a chance to build it. And I have to say, it's really cool. Even this small of a scale, it sort of has something like it. So it really looks cool. And we have the Mandalorian figure, which is absolutely great. I mean, just for the figure, it's already a cool thing. Let's see if I can, if it's sharp. I don't know, probably it will be. Anyway, it's a really cool minifig with a jetpack on the back, and so
That's cool.
Officially,
Very cool.
Thank you for that ad. I really enjoyed building that. Obviously, it was only about an hour's build, but I still loved it. And the fact that I started building it, because with Lego you always need to have like a backup set, because you don't want to build your last Lego set that you've got, because that would be a bad thing. And obviously a nice package arrived.
Wow!
A couple of days ago.
Where did that come
from?
From
a very, very, very nice friend out of the States. I won't mention his name here. Thought I needed that as a pick me up or whatever you call it, and I really
consolation prize.
A consolation prize, and I really did. So it's been absolutely great. It's been a great surprise. I love the fact that I now have this waiting to be unboxed and waiting to be built, and I am contemplating the thought of maybe doing a live unboxing or doing something as a live stream when I've got my camera set up and I've got the right cables and everything. I might just go live somewhere in between our shows and just start building it, and do a live stream. Maybe I'll let you know, and you can just, also put in. We could do a live stream in this format with just me building and the three of us just babbling. I don't know. We'll see. We'll find a way to do that. And
the problem is, if we do that though, if we start talking, you'll lose track, and then everything will be wrong.
Okay, the both of you talk and I'll build. No, probably not. Anyway, we can do a chat or whatever. But I'll definitely be having a lot of fun building that. It's a great kit, and it will be fun. I'm sure. So that's sure. It. And I heard a little peek before the show in our little talk that Chris did a thing again.
Oh no,
he did.
Did I?
He did a thing again. He ordered something.
The Lego Back to the Future DeLorean.
Oh, really?
He did. He did it. He did a thing.
So that should be here this week, so we can probably discuss that next week.
That would be so cool.
Oh, it's so cool.
I love it.
I've already decided that the version that I'm going to build is the Back to the Future 2.
Okay.
With the hover car version with Mr. Fusion.
Cool.
But the fact that you can build all three, I think, is also very cool.
Of course. Yeah. So, yes. Would you probably? I mean, what are you going to do? Are you going to just pick one and build it and then leave it forever, or?
Yeah, I'll probably pick like I said, the Back to the Future 2.
Yeah.
And then just leave it, but leave the accessories next to it. So if I want to change it, I'll come along later maybe.
You could do that. Yeah. Obviously, you need three. And build all three versions next to each other, but that's a whole other story. But
well, the guy on Racing Brick, Walesh on Racing Brick, basically said that's what he was going to do. He said, "I'm going to buy all three because now I need to have all three next to each other."
Of course, it's a genius marketing idea to do that. Yeah. So also, I think he made another video about the Titanic build. I think I saw that coming.
Did he?
I think.
I have to go and have a look.
It could be the old one, but I saw it in the timeline, so probably it's a new one. Like a detailed build with commentary, so that's probably something to watch, and then we'll see when we finally can buy the Titanic and do a group build of that. But anyway, so Lego, Formula One, Rivian, NS Troubles. That's probably the most important stuff that happened.
Yeah, I think we've covered everything
this week. Yeah, we've covered everything up until now. So that leaves me for final remarks. Any things that we might have forgotten? If not, then we're gonna just say goodbye to everyone and hopefully be back next Tuesday. ijs en weder dienende. We did have some snow on Sunday, was it? No, when was snow? Last week? I don't know. We had
Thursday and Friday.
Thursday, Friday. Yeah, we had some snow here.
Yeah, the day that we flew back.
Oh, that
we
was
had
it.
snow.
Yeah, because you were sort of worried if that went all well. So it was just.
I was concerned that the NS would have trouble with snow.
Yes.
Turns out snow wasn't the problem.
No, it was Snowden. No, it was.
So what did you do to them? Yeah.
We took a hotel the night before at the airport. So
to be close.
it wasn't me. I had nothing to do with NS's troubles. I swear,
No.
that was nothing to do.
Okay. Well, anyway, that was it for this week. Thank you all for watching. Please like, subscribe, and drop us a note if you have anything to say, whether you like it, not like it, any tips or tricks. Please let us know. And we will be back next Tuesday, same time, probably same place.
Yes, we will.
And
Yes.
thank you very much for joining us. See you next week.
Bye.
Arrivederci.
Bye bye.
Like, subscribe.